Okay, we are recording here. I forgot the mic on my camera, so we're just going to use a Rode NT USB Mini to capture audio. And so, yeah, hopefully the audio sounds good. Right, so I've always wanted to make a video talking about my favorite apps that I use on my MacBook Pro. And I know there's a ton of apps that a lot of creators use, but these are some of my favorites. I use them every single day. And let's just fill up DeFranco and jump right into it. Starting with the app that I'm recording audio with, and that's the Rode Connect app. This is great, especially if you have a Rode mic like the Rode NT USB Mini. And here is the app interface, and you can see my audio levels here. You can see on the right side are sound effects that you can use, which is pretty fun if you're recording a podcast. Let's do one. Let's do some laughter. Or if I'm sad. So yeah, that's really cool sound effects that you can use for a podcast, but I actually like using this app and this mic to record voiceovers. Like I just bring this entire setup to my closet, and because there's like so many clothes in that closet, it's essentially a voice recording booth. But it's a great app to use to record voiceovers, to record podcasts, and yeah, an app that I use pretty much all the time. And speaking of apps that I'm using right now, ScreenFlow is hands down my favorite screen recording app. I mean, not only can you record everything on your screen, but you can record voiceovers with it as you're demonstrating, I don't know, editing your photos, editing videos. It's a super easy app to use if you want to do screen recordings. You can record multiple inputs with the app. You can even choose in and out points of your screen recording. Like you don't have to export the entire video. Like if you just want to export a tiny segment of that screen recording, you totally can. You can add text, you can add objects, you can change the aspect ratio of your screen recording. But yeah, a very, very useful app if you want to do some high quality screen recordings, and definitely an app that I highly recommend on your MacBook Pro. And as far as organizing all my projects, there are two apps that I use. The first one is Notion. I'm sure you've heard of Notion, or at least it's been floating around, but Notion is such a great organizational tool to organize all my videos. Like if I have a video idea, I just jot it down in Notion, like right here. Here are some potential ideas for some videos in the future, and I can categorize them as a YouTube long form video, or a short, or Instagram reel, or TikTok. And you can even organize it in a calendar view as well. Like I use the calendar feature all the time to decide what video is going to be uploaded when. It's just a nice bird's eye view for me to plan out my videos. Not only can you organize your projects, but you can create mood boards if you want. Like over here, I have a YouTube thumbnail inspiration mood board, and this is just a gallery of some of my favorite YouTube thumbnails just to use as inspiration. But yeah, I do all of that in Notion. And what's great is that it's free. I mean, there's an upgraded plan if you want to access more advanced features, but I feel like the free version is totally fine. So if you're a creator that kind of does everything by themselves, just get the free version. But if you have a team, then it kind of might be worth upgrading to. But Notion, hands down, my favorite way to organize my videos. There is a web version of Notion, but I much prefer using the desktop app because I kind of like keeping my browser for like browsing the web, not necessarily to work on. But yeah, if you have a Notion account, I highly recommend downloading the Notion desktop app. And another organizational app that I like using is Milanote. Is it Milanote or Milanote? We'll just say Milanote. I'm still trying to figure out how it works, but so far I've been really liking it. And I kind of use it more to plan out single videos versus a whole calendar of videos. And basically what it is, it's more of a free form way of planning your projects or your videos. Like just imagine trying to plan out your video on a notepad. Like you can sketch, you can add lines or shapes, make little notes here and there. It doesn't have to be all lined up and perfect. All that you can do with Milanote. So Notion is more for like overall organizing everything, and Milanote is more for like planning out single videos. Just like Notion, there's a free version. You can upgrade if you want to, but so far I'm using the free version and I'm liking it so far. But yeah, in terms of organization, Notion and Milanote are like the best combo. And of course, we gotta talk about editing. I love using Adobe Creative Cloud. I use Premiere most of the time, After Effects sometimes, Lightroom and Photoshop I use all the time. And it's been fine. I mean, I've been using Adobe products for years and years and years. Has it been decades? I've been using Adobe products for decades. Crazy. But those are the editing platforms that I use to create photos and videos. And I'm not there yet, but I'm kind of dabbling in Luminar and DaVinci Resolve. I just keep hearing that those apps are much better to use than Photoshop and Premiere Pro. And so I'm gonna play around with it and see if I like it or not. But for the most part, Adobe is what I use. Ooh, and we gotta talk about Catalyst Browse. Ooh, I love Catalyst Browse. Basically, Catalyst Browse takes the gyro data from specific Sony cameras and stabilizes it. Did I say that right? Stabilizes it in the app. And what's great is that you can determine how much stabilization that you can use in a video clip, because if you stabilize a video clip a lot, it'll crop in on your shot by a lot. But if you don't want to see a big crop factor when you're stabilizing video, then you can minimize the crop, which is really, really cool. You do have to turn off stabilization on your Sony camera completely in order for it to be used on Catalyst Browse. And so, for example, if you have the Sony a7 IV, just turn off all stabilization in that camera, import that footage into Catalyst Browse, and then you can stabilize it that way. I don't necessarily use Catalyst Browse every single day, but if I know that I need to have a smooth looking handheld shot and I don't have a gimbal, I always turn off all stabilization on my camera, knowing that I can stabilize it a lot better with Catalyst Browse. And so yeah, if you have a Sony camera that has gyro data, I highly recommend downloading Catalyst Browse for your Mac. Another app that I love using on my computer is Canva. I'm pretty sure you've heard of Canva, but in case you haven't, basically it's a platform where you can design brochures, Instagram posts, YouTube thumbnails really easily by using their templates. I actually use Canva quite often. In fact, here are a few of my projects that I've done. This is a graphic that I use for my Black Friday video. I have no graphic design skills whatsoever, but I saw this template from Canva. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll use it. Super easy. And then here on the left side, there are several design templates that you can use as well. Like, that's pretty cool. I might use that for next year. I don't know. And there is a web version app of Canva, but I much prefer using the desktop app. Again, I don't like working on my browser. I like using my browser to browse the web. And so yeah, if you have a Canva account, definitely download the desktop version. It's way, way better. And oh, I just realized there's like stock footage now. Oh, that's cool. Okay, well, there you go. But yeah, if you have a Canva account, definitely download the desktop app. It's very, very helpful, especially if you suck at graphic design. And then last but not least, the app that I use pretty much every single day is Clean My Mac X. They are sponsoring this video, but I've been using Clean My Mac X for a couple years now, just because it's the best app to help my computer stay optimized. I literally run it every single morning. Here, let me show you. All right, so here's the interface. It looks great, looks beautiful, super easy to use. And I just do a quick smart scan. And right now it's kind of just scanning my computer for anything that you can clean up. Like oftentimes there's like junk that can be removed or deleted. It can speed up my Mac by optimizing the RAM. And then just kind of scans my computer to see if there's any harmful things like malware that needs to be removed. All right, it's done. Looks like there's about 500 megabytes that needs to be removed. So yeah, it's just cleaned that up, and now it's just cleaning out my system. Very cool. But not only does it optimize your Mac, remove malware, but you can also uninstall apps, you can update apps, and there's this really cool feature called Space Lens, which is an interactive disk visualizer. So unlike Finder, you can immediately see what files and folders are taking up most of the space. So a really handy tool for finding large files that you've forgotten about. And one of my favorite things about Clean My Mac X is this little dashboard that you can pull up, where you can just see useful information about your computer, like how much space is left on your computer, battery percentage, the Wi-Fi speed, and just other useful information. But yeah, I love Clean My Mac X. I use it every single morning. Like literally, that's what I do before I start work. I always open up Clean My Mac X and just run the smart scan and let it do its thing, just to make sure that I know my computer is optimized for the day. But yeah, if you have a Mac, I highly recommend getting Clean My Mac X. Even if they weren't sponsoring this video, I still would recommend them because they're that good. And if you want to check out Clean My Mac X, then the link will be down below. But I think that's it for this video. Yeah, those are pretty much all the apps that I use all of the time. And if you have apps that you use all the time with your Mac computer, then yeah, let me know in the comments below. Always wondering what other apps are out there.